And then there were 5. The tournament started with 32 teams in the hunt for the 2025 ISC Men's World Title. And following a bit of an upset earlier today, Ty Sebastian of the Bear Creek Express throws a 7-inning complete game shutout to oust the Bear Creek Gremlins, who had been in the Final Four of this tournament for the last 14 years. So the Express move on. The Gremlins tournament has come to a conclusion. And in this game, it's JDT First Energy with Devin McCullough again getting the ball, taking on, I wouldn't say a surprising team, an STK fastball from Kamloops, BC. They built themselves a very nice team, and here they are trying to stay alive in the hunt for a world title. And there's a look at the JDT defense. Pomeroy, Patterson, Lynch, the usuals. Laskowski, Ducharme, Brock Atwell, there's a change, playing at second in this game. Cameron Watts will do the catching, and Colin Walsh over at first base. And the lineup that Devin will face in this game for STK. And they started the tournament with a win over Seattle. They lost to the Kilo Black Knights, but they come into this game. You see Ryan Bicknell, the youngster who will represent Canada in September at a U23 Pan American event. And as we go through their batting order, they have some players who are absolutely red hot coming into this one. My name is Peter Loubardias. Great to have you with us on this Friday at the ISC World Tournament. Devin McCullough has thrown 24 2/3 innings here. He's given up 8 runs, 9 hits, struck out 46, and walked 8. And he has been in the circle, towing the rubber in every single game for JDT, who fell last night in a winner's bracket semifinal, 8-0 at the hands of the reigning champion, Hill United Chiefs. And a bit misleading as far as the score is concerned, just because it was a 2-0 game until Hill United scored 6 times in the top of the 5th inning and then would close it out in the bottom half. And McCullough threw 4 2/3 innings in that game as he has a ball and a strike to Ryan Bicknell, who's from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. 5 for 19 so far here at the ISC World Tournament. He has hits in all but one of their games. And mentioned right off the top, he will play for Canada in the upcoming Pan American U23 championships that start in the middle of September in Argentina. And he has been a very good player. Their starting center fielder facing another Saskatchewan product in Saskatoon's Devin McCullough. And Devin has really thrown exceptionally well all summer. The odd exception, and he wasn't alone in this category, probably did not have his best stuff for Canada at the World Cup in Prince Albert, where Ryan Bicknell calls home. And the landing area has been a bit of a concern throughout the course of the week on this diamond. And take nothing away from the grounds crew here. They have done an amazing job with this fabulous Caswell softball complex. As Bicknell showed bunt, and he will draw an opening walk. STK involved in one of the games of the tournament. I would call it an upset last night. 10 innings to knock off the Ostrander Norsemen to advance. 5-3 the final. As Federico Ader steps in, longtime Argentine national team member. How are his numbers here this week? How about 11 for 19? with a double, a triple, a home run, and 4 runs batted in. He has 4 multi-hit games. And Cameron Watts is out to chat, and Devin McCullough still doing some yard work. Our home plate umpire is Daryl Helmer from Airdrie, Alberta, George LeMaitre from Hamilton, and this an interesting one, not the fact that Keith Cook is working at third base, but where he's from. His hometown is listed as Little Canada, Minnesota. I had no idea there was a Little Canada, Minnesota. But there is, apparently. And that is where Keith Cook calls home. As Devin McCullough looks to regain his composure for this first-year team in JDT First Energy. Change up. There goes Bicknell, and he got a great jump. Excellent speed from Ryan Bicknell to steal second base as STK comes out of the gate, and they are aggressive. Haven't had a phone call for a week, and I've had 2 calls in the last 6 minutes. Hey, don't you guys know I'm a little busy? And not kidding about the first part. Bunt attempt and an absolute gem by Federico Ader. And STK picking up where they left off last night. A walk, a stolen base, and then Federico Ader's 12th hit of this championship tournament. And there is no way that he's not leading that category. He's 12 for 20. And on the topic of guys with a red-hot bat in their hand, this is Alejo Munoz. He hit 2 home runs, including a walk-off 2-run shot that was on a line and went off the scoreboard, halfway up the scoreboard on diamond number 1. This is diamond number 2. So Munoz, who has a tournament-leading 13 runs batted in with an early opportunity, is Ader with a big jump over there. No one covering. A surprising start to the day. Will it continue? We are very early in this one. And a big out for Devin McCullough, who finds a little extra to get red-hot Alejo Munoz, the left fielder. And the rise ball with the late movement gets the job done. This is 22-year-old Brisbane, Australia product, Riley James. An impressive 7 for 15. 2 doubles, a triple, and 4 runs batted in. Played at last year's ISC World Tournament for the Bear Creek Express, where he went 2 for 8. And this guy has a very, very bright future. Ader thrown out by Cameron Watts. As Watts, who was not behind home plate last night in the loss to Hill United, is today. And he comes up throwing from his knees and threw a dart. Nice cover by Ducharme. Is Braden able to make the tag and the running catch? So there's 2 away. Change up. And when it's right, it's as good as any in the game today. 2 balls and a strike to Riley James, who hit 4 for 8 for Australia at the recently completed World Cup. And like I mentioned, he's just 22. Up the middle, a base hit. And Riley James has provided STK fastball with an early 1-0 lead. Good piece of hitting by number 77 as he takes it up the middle. No chance. So just when you thought JDT might get out of it, Riley James comes through. And here's 38-year-old Argentine Manuel Godoy. He's a 4-time All-World player at this event. He's 8 for 20 with a triple, 3 home runs, and 8 runs batted in. As STK coming back through the losers bracket, or as Joe Todd is now calling it, and I'm going to borrow it, the elimination bracket. This is a team that has feasted on some of the competition. As Godoy fouls that back. He was a Northeast driller at this event 1 year ago. But take nothing away from STK. Their last 2 wins over the Toronto Batmen and the Ostrander Norsemen, both higher ranked coming into this event in the ISC World Rankings. McCullough paints the outside corner, and Manuel Godoy didn't like it. So Riley James able to cash in a run, but Devin McCullough able to come back and limit the damage. STK in front, 1-0. JDT, Blair called it the Alphabet Bowl, I can't even say it, coming to bat.
Called strike 3, the outside corner. They weren't out of that. Yeah. High in the air, Viavazo comes to get it, and the Chiefs are back to the top of the mountain. The gloves fly. The celebration is underway.
One nothing. STK has jumped out in front of JDT, First Energy. You see a couple of hits. The most important one was the RBI single up the middle off the bat of Riley James, who starts the game at third. Here's the lineup for Jamie Simpson, Larry Lynch, and the rest of the JDT coaching staff. Pomeroy, Ducharme, Patterson, Walsh, John Lynch, Laskowski, Jeff Lyons reinserted, as is Brock Atwell and Cameron Watts. So a different looking lineup today for JDT than the one they brought to the Diamond in the 8-0 winners bracket semifinal loss last night at the hands of Hill United, who will take on the Northeast Drillers. That game now slated for around 7:30. The winners bracket final. The winner of that game advances directly into tomorrow's title matchup. Pomeroy, the 25-year-old from Placentia, Newfoundland, and the starting pitcher is Juan Pepe, a youngster from Argentina. He's only thrown 5 innings this week. Generally, they've gone with Scott Life and Jorge Segura, who was great in relief last night, but they opt for the youngster in this game. And Pepe has good tools in that arsenal. 4 2/3 of those innings for STK came in a 13-2 triumph earlier in the week against the Masonry Sting. And that got a bite of Pomeroy, a Canadian national team member 2 for 10 is Jordan coming into the game with a triple and 2 runs batted in. And the umpiring trio will gather and make a decision as to whether that did in fact strike Jordan Pomeroy, the 25-year-old. Braden Ducharme, the batter from Hudson, Wisconsin, one of 2 Ducharme brothers on the team. Both of them members of the United States national team. Braden is 3 for 11 here in Mankato with a double, a triple, a home run, and 3 RBIs. And all 3 of those hits, all the damage, came in their opening game against Bar Blues. And he's hoping to get back into the hit column in this all-important elimination bracket game. And it eludes the catcher quickly off the very tight mesh. But Pomeroy, who runs very well, able to move up 60 feet. As JDT gives up a run and hopes to cash right back in their first at-bat. Ducharme batted 182 at last year's World Tournament on the ground, and tough play for James or the shortstop, Nick Potskin. And I believe that should be scored, a base hit. So the first since the opening game, an infield hit for the speedy Braden Ducharme. And JDT with runners now at first and second. It just hit in almost the perfect place. James couldn't quite get to it, and no opportunity for the shortstop, Nick Potskin. Federico Ader is at second, and he has great hands over there. Manuel Godoy at first. It's Bicknell in center. Alejo Munoz is in left, and Nick Lanigan gets the start today for STK in right field. And the batter is Scott Patterson. Routine, and Lanigan will come up throwing. And Pomeroy, that ball's too shallow for him to take any chance, and he would have been absolutely out at third had he given it a go. So as Patterson flies out to right, here's Colin Walsh from Petty Harbor, Newfoundland. 31 years of age, another member of the Canadian national men's team. He's 2 for 7 here in Mankato. Hits against Bar Blues and Team 518. Was 0 for 2 in the game against the Hill United Chiefs. In fact, JDT First Energy did not register a hit. Marco Diaz with a 5-inning no-hitter for Hill United, as he has been in fine form for the Chiefs in 2025. And they'll have a stiff test against a fine hitting lineup in the Northeast Drillers in that winner's bracket final later today. Pepe trying to find a rhythm. As I mentioned, he has not pitched a lot this week. And this is a very tough spot to be in against an excellent team. Ranked number 5 coming into the event in their first year of existence. A date with the Bear Creek Express tomorrow morning at 9:30 awaits the winner as the Express ends the Bear Creek Gremlins tournament earlier today with an impressive 2-0 victory. 2 solo homers from Cody Panabecker and Luigi Pinto, and 7 marvelous innings from the guy I call the Brussels Bulldog, Ty Sebastian, who's from Brussels, Ontario. Count full to Walsh as he bats with a runner in scoring position. And fouled well out of play by number 16. Very versatile. Bats right, throws left. Does Colin. Has prior to this year been a member of the Bear Creek Express. As the owner of the Express and the Gremlins and JDT. Switch things up. Walsh a base hit, and they're going to hold. And now caught way off is Ducharme. Can he scramble back? He did. Gets away with one right there. As Braden Ducharme a little extra aggressive. Jordan Pomeroy without anywhere to go as he was held by Jamie Simpson, the third base coach, on the single. And you look at the pickle that Ducharme is in. But he was able to close the lid on the jar. So Walsh a base hit, his third of the tournament, to load the bases for a very good hitter in Jonathan Lynch, who hails from Missouri, a member of the United States national men's team. He had a fine World Cup in Prince Albert. 5 for 19 there with 2 homers and 5 runs batted in. As the United States won the bronze medal. Lynch gets into one. Drives Lanigan all the way back. It will tie the game at 1 as Lynch came very close to delivering a grand slam. Instead, it's a sacrifice fly and a run batted in to tie the game. Jonathan Lynch just missed it. And good play. Sun comes in and out of the clouds in that direction, making it difficult on that side of the diamond. So the game is tied at 1. As JDT comes right back to draw even, and Justin Laskowski, the 27-year-old from Warman, Saskatchewan, or Saskatoon. I think either fit. He's 2 for 8 in Mankato with a triple and a run batted in. And that run batted in came in a 3-2 win over the Bear Creek Express. It's always fun when those two teams, in fact, when any of the teams in that Bear Creek Sports and Entertainment triangle play one another. And JDT hoping to hook up with the Express in the Final Four of this event tomorrow morning. They've tied it at 1, and here's Laskowski, who had a quality cut, and he knew it. Good twist is what comes out of the dugout. So Laskowski, a quality cut, formerly of the Circle Tap Dukes, was 4 for 14 in this event last year in Surrey with a home run and 4 runs batted in. He has 2 on base, but Pepe with his best pitch early, the high rise, gets Laskowski. So both teams register a run. 1-1 here on this Friday at the 2025 ISC World Tournament in Mankato.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Both teams cross home plate, and now we'll see which group settles in. STK with 2 hits off Devin McCullough to score a run in the first. STK's catcher leads things off, Conrado Zanatini, who is from Paraná in Argentina. He must have Italian heritage. I don't think there's any way around it with a name like Conrado Zanatini. And McCullough, a first pitch strike. Conrado is 5 for 16 here. He's doubled, he's tripled, and he's driven in 3. Was a member of the Ostrander Norsemen in 2024 and did not register a hit in that tournament in Surrey, British Columbia. So it's been much better for him at home plate in 2025. Was a member of Argentina's U23 World Cup team in the year 2023. McCullough with all the pitches. When it's at its best, a devastating changeup, a great rise ball. And that, to me, looked like the low rise into the strike zone to even the count. Zanatini fouls that straight back. Devin McCullough has already pitched 25 and 2/3 innings here this week. Wasn't sure if he would get the ball in this game. Thought there would be a chance they would go with Dominican national team member Yoni Suriel. Zanutini crunches it and tracked right at the fence. A great running catch by Jordan Pomeroy. Is the changeup left up in the middle of the plate. And Zanatini jumped all over this. Hit it hard. But Pomeroy, who has great speed, with an excellent jump to make the play for out number 1. West Bank BC's Jessen Potskin, one of 2 Potskins on the team. Jessen in the designated player role in the lineup today is 5 for 14 during the tournament. 2 doubles and 3 runs batted in. He had a big game against the Pueblo Bandits earlier in the week where he went 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and a run batted in. And he has been around the sport a long time. Played for Canada all the way back in the 2008 World Junior Men's Championship. Devin McCullough with the good rise to get Jessen Potskin with his second strikeout of the day and 48th of the competition for Devin. Called by almost everybody in the softball community as Devo. Nick Lanigan, the right fielder, he's in the lineup today and fouls that off himself. Nick's from Auckland, New Zealand, 1 for 6. is STK made a lot of upgrades to their lineup in the offseason. Even last year, they put themselves together a good team, and now, no matter what happens the rest of the week, you'd have to think this is a really great ISC World Tournament for this team, based officially out of Kamloops, British Columbia. Lanigan's one hit came against Masonry Sting in a 13-2 triumph. The drop in on the hands, and McCullough left shaking his head. 2 balls and a strike to Nick Lanigan, who was forced to make a pretty good catch off of Jonathan Lynch in the last half inning for STK defensively. Catcher Cameron Watts framed it to the best of his ability. And Devin McCullough will take a bit of a walk outside of the circle to compose himself. 3 balls and a strike to the right fielder, Lanigan. And McCullough finds the strike zone this time. Lanigan went 5 for 11 in the Seattle Invitational Tournament prior to the start of this event, and did not pull the trigger. Frustrated but found a way. Devin McCullough, a 1-2-3. Top of the second for STK. It's a 1-1 tie here in an elimination bracket game on the Friday at the ISC World Tournament.
A metal roof lasts a lifetime. Thousands trust Metal Roof Outlet to install stylish, stone-coated metal roofing that looks just like traditional shingles. Make a smart and worthwhile investment for your home with Metal Roof Outlet. Contact us through metalroofoutlet.com to get a quote for a roof replacement anywhere in Southern Ontario. Because when you trust Metal Roof Outlet with your roof replacement, it may be the last time you ever replace your roof.
JDT First Energy with a run of their own in the first is Jeff Lyons back in the lineup from Appin, Ontario. And Jeff with a mighty cut on the Juan Pepe first pitch of the bottom of the second. Jeff has only had one official at bat, and it came in a win over the Bear Creek Express. He's 0 for 1. And that hits home plate umpire Daryl Helmer. Hope he's all right. Conrado Zanutini checking in. Is it got a piece of the umpire? And Jeff Lyons steps out of the batter's box after that strike call. Juan Pepe with his large assignment. Scott Life and Jorge Segura. And I am unable to tell from my location, one of those two gentlemen is up and warming. And you're on a short leash in an elimination game. Change-up from Pepe, and it's turned on by Lyons, but foul. And Lyons is still in conversation with the home plate umpire. Jeff was a Bear Creek Express at last year's tournament. Played for Canada in a 2024 qualifying event in Prince Albert. Was not on their World Cup team a few weeks ago. Hits this one fairly well. Bicknell and Munoz seemed to be a little bit of a communication error before Munoz was able to make the catch. So Lyons almost finding the gap for his first hit at an ISC World Tournament in the last couple of years, and Munoz had to, as you got a great replay look at it, reach back towards the fence. Second baseman Brock Atwell from New Zealand, 1 for 4 at the ISC World Tournament, with the locks flowing out of the helmet. His hit and run batted in came in their first game against Bar Blues. Played for the Niagara Stompers in the 2023 ISC World Tournament and has a base hit. As Riley James at the hot corner gave it his best, but unable to knock it down. As Atwell turns on the Pepe pitch. And drives it by James. And here's 31-year-old Canterbury product, Cameron Watts, who is only 2 at-bats here, both of them in a game against Team 518 earlier in the week, which was a 2-0 victory for JDT First Energy. Opened with an 8-0 win over Bar Blues, 2-0 downing Team 518 in a great one against their rival, the Bear Creek Express. Won that game 3-2 before losing 8-0 to the Hill United Chiefs. So they're 3-1, trying to avoid a second straight setback and nearly an extra base hit and potentially even the game's first run off the bat of Cameron Watts. He is from New Zealand. Juan Pepe leans back and fools Cameron Watts on the rise ball. Number 97 from Argentina, Juan Pepe, and has his second strikeout of the afternoon. As Jordan Pomeroy, the leadoff batter for JDT, steps in. He was hit by a pitch and he scored their first run. Another good one brewing here on this Friday, as we're down to 5 teams left in the hunt for the ISC World title. Pomeroy, a swing and a miss on a drop ball that time from Pepe. Had an opportunity to watch him with my own 2 eyes for the first time last year, early in the year, at the Kelowna May Days tournament put on by one of the very key members of the ISC hierarchy and just a great guy at Rich Haldane. And was very impressed with him then. Pitch for Argentina in their last U23 World Cup appearance. Climbed the ladder, and Pomeroy not biting on that rise ball. Jordan was unable to register a hit at the World Cup for Canada. And he hit very well in a pre-tournament event in Saskatoon, which I was lucky enough to watch a couple of games. But goes down here as Pepe, after giving up a base hit, comes back with 2 key strikeouts. And after 2, it remains tied at 1 at the ISC World Tournament in Mankato, Minnesota.
How confident are you in your organization's security posture? If your answer isn't 100%, you're not alone. Most organizations aren't doing enough to protect their data, and they know it. With Armitage Technology, you can stop worrying about IT security issues so you can focus on moving your business forward. Our experienced staff monitor and maintain your IT infrastructure to keep your business running. Visit us at armitagetech.com and make your technology work for your business.
Shortstop Nick Potskin leads things off for STK fastball to begin the third. Both teams scoring in the first. But Devin McCullough and Juan Pepe able to put up zeros in inning number 2 as Potskin showed bunt. And strike 1 to number 11. Nick, 4 for 16 in the tournament. Double, home run, 3 runs batted in. The big game in the victory over the Masonry Sting earlier this week. Part of a 4-game winning streak after opening the tournament with a 7-0 triumph in their opener over the Seattle Dirt Dogs. And then they fell 8-5 to the Kegel Black Knights and have rolled off 4 straight in the elimination bracket to reach the final 5. Difficult play even for Jonathan Lynch, who has great speed and able to track it, and hope he's all right. Looked a little ginger after making this catch. And he had to go a long way, the USA national teamer. It almost looked like he might have rolled the ankle a little bit, but remains in the game, and there's one away as Nick Potskin flies out. Ryan Bicknell walked and scored the STK run in the first inning. This Devin McCullough trying to work into a groove, and he's been in a groove by and large the whole event. Did end up giving up 6 runs last night that were charged to him against Hill United, but for 4 innings, he was tough to deal with, and he struck out 12 in 4 2/3 that he did pitch. He has 3 more strikeouts this afternoon. His next strikeout would be his 50th of the tournament. And there it is. Bicknell thought that pitch was outside. So strikeout number 50, 5-0 of the tournament, and 2 quick outs as McCullough has retired the last 6 that he's faced. And Federico Ader from Argentina. What a tournament Ader is having. 12 for 20 now after a fabulous bunt base hit that keyed the run in the first. He is some kind of hot, but facing an upgrade in the pitching department in Devin McCullough in this game. Just the one hit for Ader at the World Cup for Argentina. Like Canada, like Australia, not what any of those three countries thought to be the favorites going in were hoping for, as Ader with a good cut fouled it back. Federico is a two-time All-World player. He was a member of the AWP Lumberjacks last year. He has now set his career best in a single ISC World Tournament with those 12 hits. He did have 10 hits. He was 10 for 19 with the Circle Tap Dukes in 2019. That had been his best tournament to date. 2 out and a 2-2 count to Federico Ader. Change up, squibber in fair territory, and Laskowski calmly, coolly throws him out. Pool cued and spun back in fair, much to the delight of JDT. It remains 1-1 heading to the bottom of the third in this all-important elimination bracket game here at the ISC World Tournament.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner, offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs. Find us on the web at absolutebusinesssupply.ca and let us get it for you.
Braden Ducharme, the number 2 batter in the lineup for JDT, was able to deliver an infield single in between Riley James and Nick Potskin at third base and shortstop with his first at-bat. Pepe stumbled and said that was on me. Not sure if that was an intended changeup or not. Certainly came to home plate looking like that. As Pepe comes in, they go down to Keith Cook at third, asking about a swing. Three balls and no strikes to Ducharme, who walks on 4 straight pitches, much to the chagrin of both Pepe and catcher Conrado Sanatini, and the head coach of STK very unhappy as well with that decision. So Ducharme, who runs very well on base for the second straight time this afternoon, and now the dangerous center fielder Scott Patterson, who shows bunt. Patterson flew out to Nick Lanigan in right field. 5 for 14 with a double in this tournament. He had a great 2023 event for the Hill United Chiefs when he went 7 for 14, 4 home runs, and 10 runs batted in. And last year, he was a member of the Circle Tap Dukes and batted .292. So his third different team in the last 3 years. Popped that up in the air, and good base running by Ducharme. Not going anywhere until you know that it's been laid on the ground. So Patterson unable to execute on a sacrifice bunt attempt. And there's one away. Colin Walsh singled right back up the box in the first. And Pepe misses outside. Colin now 3 for 8. 2 for 9 in last year's World Tournament in Surrey as a member of the Bear Creek Express. Pulls that. James for 1. The turn in time. The double play is Federico Ader with those great hands. Excellent release. Riley James put it in a perfect spot for him to turn it over. 5-4-3 to end inning number 3 in this elimination bracket game in Mankato.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at
Alejo Munoz, who's homered 4 times in Mankato, 2 last night in their upset victory over the Ostrander Norsemen, including the 2-run blast off the scoreboard to walk it off in the bottom of the 10th inning. No international tiebreaker rule at the ISC World Tournament. They play it out the regular way. And Munoz knows he swung at a pitch that he would have liked to have had back. He's now 8 for 19, tournament leading, 13 runs batted in. And the 4 home runs. Top of the ledger, hits this one, playable. And again, it's Lynch who tracks it. Thought off the bat it might carry a little better. It did not. And Jonathan Lynch takes care of Alejo Munoz to start the 4th inning. Riley James drove in the only STK run with a single in the first. As Devin McCullough seems to have found his groove. James up to 8 hits, a .500 batting average as it goes off the glove of Cameron Watts, who got the nod behind home plate today. Been a lot of Dallas Cornelius back there for JDT earlier in the week, including the loss last night to the Hill United Chiefs, who will square off against the Northeast Drillers in the winners bracket final tonight, now slated for 7:30. Originally 6:30, move back, and don't be surprised if it isn't even a tad later before it gets going. But this game's moving along quite nicely. Two-strike pitch to Riley James on the way. And McCullough just missed outside. And asking where it was. Very comfortable day. Cloud cover. Really hot earlier in the week. And there's the, what I call, devastating changeup from McCullough, who's up to 5 strikeouts this afternoon. And has sat down the last 9 STK batters that he's had to deal with. Good swing by Manuel Godoy. 38 years of age and still ripping it up at home plate. 8 for 21 in the tournament. He's homered 3 times. A 4-time All-World player at this event and a long-time member of Argentina's national team. This one, a flare, and Pomeroy, did he get it? No, he did not. A valiant effort by Jordan, and just eluded him as Godoy has another extra base hit. This one is first double. Ducharme has great range, and so does Pomeroy. Fortunately, they did not have a big collision either. So Manuel Godoy's 9th hit of the tournament has him in scoring position for Conrado Zanatini, who asked for time as the string comes to an end of retired batters for Devin McCullough at 9. And pours one in. The rise on an inside corner to Zanatini, who flew out to Pomeroy his first time today. STK already with what some might call a couple of upsets in the tournament. Wins over the Toronto Batmen and the Ostrander Norsemen, in search of another against JDT First Energy. Fouled right back towards us. Over top of the tent. We will be down to 4 teams in the hunt for the title when this game is over. And a date tomorrow morning with the Bear Creek Express awaits the winner. Zanatini pulled that foul down the third base side. Having himself a good at-bat against Devin McCullough. He's playing on his 3rd team in as many years as well, Zanatini. Lots of player movement. In the ISC, was an Ohio Bomber in 2023. An Ostrander Norseman last year in Surrey, and now with STK out of Kamloops, British Columbia, Canada, in 2025. From Paraná in Argentina. Up the middle, a base hit. The wave for Godoy. It's cut off. And STK has taken a 2-1 lead on the RBI single off the bat of Conrado Zanatini. And with 2 outs, we'll have a courtesy runner in Godoy, who will catch his breath after scoring the go-ahead run from second base. And STK, for the second time this afternoon, has gone out in front. Zanatini's 4th run batted in of this tournament. Swing and a miss. Watts still able to throw out Godoy. That mesh in behind home plate, it can come back to you very quickly, and Cameron Watts wasted no time for the final out. However, STK on Emmanuel Godoy run scored and a base hit by Zanatini now lead JDT 2-1 in this elimination game here in Mankato.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
For the second time this afternoon, Juan Pepe will step onto the pitching rubber with a lead. Conrado Zanatini's RBI single has STK in front of JDT. 2-1. Long, long way to go. Jonathan Lynch, the batter. Pepe, a long stare. He was absolutely sensational for Argentina at the U23 World Cup. 3-0, a 0.78 earned run average. Struck out 45 batters. And Lynch, big turn, he's going to try it, and he's going to be thrown out. Alejo Munoz, his arm was tested, and he threw a strike to second to get Jonathan Lynch aggressively trying to move in to scoring position. And the tag applied by Ader. And who knows, that could be a real turning point in this one. Jonathan Lynch, and he has great speed, attempted to turn a single into a double, and it did not quite work out for him on that occasion. Strong throw. Laskowski, this is going to be tough, but Nick Potskin with good range to haul it in. So back-to-back defensive efforts for STK. First the throw from Munoz, and now with some range for shortstop Nick Potskin. And if you've ever tried to make a catch with a ball, that one was not directly over top of his head. That's not an easy play to make. As he retires Justin Laskowski for a second out. And Jeff Lyons who flew out to Munoz in his first at-bat of the game, just his second of this ISC World Tournament. For big number 55, the 32-year-old from Glencoe, Ontario, or Appin. Both have been listed. Talked to his brother, who's the head therapist for the Hill United Chiefs, and told me that they're both correct, but technically they grew up in Appin, Ontario. And Jeff had a good cut at that Pepe pitch. Two balls and a strike to Jeff Lyons. And the Pepe rise ball swung on and missed. They'll play for the ISC 2 title, I believe, in our next game on this diamond. And then the big one of the day, the winner's bracket final. The two unbeaten teams remaining in the competition, both at 4-0, the reigning champion Hill United Chiefs, in search of their 7th ISC World Crown since 2012, taking on the Northeast Drillers. Should be a dandy. And Lions' good at-bat continues. 2-1, STK has gone in front on a Conrado Zanatini single in the top of this inning. Lions able to stay off the rise ball that time. Not easy to do. Jeff Lyons' best ISC World Tournament at home plate was an 8 for 18 effort as a member of the Toronto Batmen back in 2019. Continues to hang right in there against Pepe in search of his first hit of this event. It's only his third official at-bat. Swinging it well, did so when he made an out to left earlier in the game. And another good twist. That one literally straight back. So Pepe and Lyons in a 4th inning tussle. The winner moves on to the Final Four. The losers' tournament will come to an end. 32 teams began the quest here last Saturday, and Pepe, it was not easy, but he won the battle. Striking out Jeff Lyons, his 4th strikeout of the afternoon. 2-1 STK over JDT here in North Mankato at the ISC World Tournament.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Medios. He could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
2-1 lead. STK fastball out of Kamloops, dealing with Devin McCullough. And I would suggest the favored JDT First Energy. The Georgian Bay Giants will face the Midland Explorers in the ISC 2 title game, which will follow this contest. What do you know? Georgian Bay in an ISC 2 title game. Is this 3 in a row, Joe, or is it 4? It's the 3rd in a row. They lost, I know, last year to the Sydney Tropics in Surrey, British Columbia, and lost to the Pueblo Bandits in 2023. So trying to find the winning formula. 2 good lineups, too. Jessen Potskin, the designated player. Is Devin McCullough. His train still very much in movement. He's had a really good week. I would think he'd have to have some consideration for an all-world possibility, the way he has pitched. And the tight spin on the rise ball. As he sits down, Jessen Potskin to begin the 5th with a strikeout. 6th of the game for Devin, 51st of the tournament. That's a few. Going back over the years, I think the last 10 years now, if I'm not mistaken, he would be over 500 strikeouts in this event. Came in that type of stretch with 448, I believe, in the last 10 years. As it's lifted high and out of play by Nick Lanigan, who struck out versus McCullough in his first go-round earlier in the contest. The day started with what many would call an upset. The Bear Creek Gremlins tournament is over. They'd been in the Final Four, according to Mr. Setford, 14 years in a row. But not this time, as Ty Sebastian with a gem for the Bear Creek Express in a 2-0 win, as they'll finish in a tie for 6th in 2025. They lost the title game a year ago. They won it in 2023 as Lanigan flies out to Patterson in center. And what was really interesting is they just could not find their batting shoes. And that is so unusual for that group. But it happened this week. They lost to the Northeast Drillers 4-2. Waymo Mata with a great game last night in a winner's bracket semifinal. And in that game, they hit 2 solo home runs in the 7th. So for them to score a couple runs in 2 games, somewhat unheard of. A 1-2-3 inning as Nick Potskin flies out. And now JDT, they want to warm up the bats. They trail by 1. see the box score, 4 hits, 2 runs for STK fastball. Just the 2 hits so far off Juan Pepe, who's given them 4 excellent innings. And I'm not sure that for some he would have been the first choice to pitch this game with Scott Life and Jorge Segura, although they both combined to throw 10 innings in the upset of the Ostrander Norsemen in one of the games of the tournament here last night. Alejo Munoz crunched one off the scoreboard. Was calling the game at the time between the Gremlins and the Drillers, and all I heard was a thud, and I could tell what it had hit. About halfway up, I think Blair said on the scoreboard. That's a long way away. Brock Atwell has a base hit, one of the 2 JDT First Energy hits in the game. And stays away from a Pepe rise ball. There has been activity, and maybe if he would be so kind, because Blair's in a position to see who it is, he will relay the message. I cannot see through the screen and the dugout. He might not even be able to see. I don't want to hurt him. Segura is up and warming. Thank you, Mr. Setford. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Brock Atwell, and he has drawn a leadoff walk here to start inning number 5. Just the second walk surrendered by Pepe. He did hit a batter. There's Cameron Watts, Jamie Simpson with the lineup card out. Are they going to run for Atwell? I believe they will. I love Blair's line today about somebody starting up a sports store with all the equipment from the batter, handed off to the coach. Blair's had some good ones this week. He's buckled me on 2 or 3 occasions, and nobody ever got hurt by a good laugh. We all need them. Brennan Ducharme is going to come in and run, Braden's brother, and he can scoot. So Brock Atwell does his job, and the batter is 31-year-old Cameron Watts. Punches down a bunt. And Pepe able to knock it down and then shovel it over for out number 1. As Cameron Watts executes and does his job effectively on the sacrifice. So the tying run in scoring position for Jordan Pomeroy. And now the energy has been upped considerably from the JDT dugout. Pomeroy has 2 runs batted in. His second one was his most important. It was a game-winning sacrifice fly in the 3-2 victory over the Bear Creek Express in the 6th inning. Here he is in the 5th of this elimination game with a chance to drive in a 3rd. There's Pepe. Missed in. That was close. Most of them really are. I wouldn't trade spots with a home plate umpire for, well, maybe for a lot of money for a minute or 2, but not long. Did Pomeroy go around? I think he was able to check it. And now he has a favorable hitting count. Pepe's fallen behind. 3-1, and might this be Juan's last batter if he can't find a way here? Pomeroy. Bicknell will track it. Potskin cuts it off. So well struck by Pomeroy, but Bicknell, who runs very well and has good range out in center, makes the catch. And the runner moves up 60 feet closer on the tag. And Braden Ducharme trying to score his brother, who came in to pinch run. Sometimes I just love to sit back and listen to the oohs and the ahs. You don't even need any play-by-play. Big spot. Thanks, Tips. Pepe with a quality rise. Braden Ducharme, an infield single. His first hit since a 3-hit outing in their opening game when he doubled, tripled, and homered against Bar Blues. And Pepe ties him in a knot with that up and in rise ball. Can the USA national team member tie the game for JDT? Pepe again with his bread and butter, which is the rise ball, but that well out of the zone. Well, Blair called it the Alphabet Bowl earlier today. Good reference. Then you talk about USA to go with STK and JDT. They've got even more letters. Popped up but out of play. And almost into our tent. Early in the week, with some damaging winds, this was no place to be. I'm not sure I felt more sorry for a human or humans than Carol and Luciano after what happened here early in the tournament. The wind and the equipment went flying. No thanks. Fortunately, everything has worked out. Pepe wanted that. Full count, 2-1 STK, bottom of the fifth, runner at third. You want a little drama? You've tuned in to the right place. Here comes the payoff. Hit hard and will tie the game. A clutch, 2 out. Base hit to right off the bat of Braden Ducharme, and we are even at 2 apiece. As he turns on that beautifully to score his brother, who is pinch running at third. And now Scott Patterson fouls it off. More than capable of changing a game with one swing. Has just the one extra base hit at this tournament. at the USA Major Men's National Championship. He had a couple of homers. He was 6 for 12 and had a hit in every game in Oklahoma City. So Braden Ducharme's single has drawn JDT even. A bouncer. And Ducharme finds himself in scoring position. I love this sport in games where every pitch feels like it matters. And that's the juncture that we're at here this afternoon. With a berth to play on Championship Saturday on the line. The Bear Creek Express earned their way with a 2-0 triumph earlier today over the Bear Creek Gremlins. Pepe found an outside corner, much to the chagrin of Scott Patterson. Can Patterson put JDT ahead? Another full count. Patterson choked up on that orange bat. Struck him out. Braden Ducharme's RBI single has tied it at 2 in this elimination bracket game on Friday at the ISC World Tournament.
Let's talk about a local one-stop shop. Live Well for Life is just that. A fitness, nutrition, and therapy facility all under one roof. Located at 3878 Wellington Street in Mitchell, Ontario, you can get so much done in just one visit. A full complement of staff on hand include chiropractic, massage, and personal training to get you back to your healthy self. Find them on the web at livewellforlifeinc.com or give
Live Well for Life, a proud sponsor of the broadcast program.
JDT, First Energy, has tied it. Their third hit, an RBI single. Let's not throw that 0 up quite yet in the 6th. Maybe it's foreshadowing. If you're JDT, you certainly hope it is, after they just tied the game. How could that happen? Luciano only has 27 jobs. Bunt by Bicknell, and it's a beauty! Ryan Bicknell, the pride of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, with a terrific bunt. He'll represent Canada in the middle of September at the U23 Pan American Championships. Argentina will certainly be a favorite there. Another bunt by Ader. McCullough had to hurry, and they're asking whether the Atwell foot was on the bag. Federico Ader certainly doesn't think so. It's a quick little shuffle of the feet as Ader dropped it down and goes in the books as a sacrifice bunt. So a go-ahead run now for STK, and you better be careful with this guy, who's had a flair for the dramatic already in the tournament. Like a 2-run walk-off in the 10th last night to end the hopes of the Ostrander Norsemen. "13 runs batted in for Munoz this week. That's a season for many, especially in a shortened season like this year. I don't even need to look at the stats to know who's first in that category, I think. And he tried to hit that a long way, but missed. Munoz, the 26-year-old. STK has led twice by a run, high and deep. He did it again. Alejo Munoz, magical week continues. His 5th homer and his 14th and 15th runs batted in of the tournament has given STK a 4-2 lead in the 6th. As he orders up from the drive-thru and says, "Can we get it to go again?" And this is well struck off the bat of Riley James. What a week for Alejo Munoz. Home run number 5 and his 3rd in the last 2 games. And they've all counted in a massive way. So Bicknell with the leadoff bunt base hit, the sacrifice, and kaboom. And now Riley James has his 2nd hit, and he'll be pinch run for by Keegan Pittendry. He's a good hockey player, too. Pittendry. Played in the Kimberly International Junior Hockey League a couple of years ago for Chase. And there's another quality cut by Manuel Godoy, who's had a few of those in his career, to say the least. The 38-year-old has doubled today and struck out against Devin McCullough, who has just given up a go-ahead 2-run home run to Alejo Munoz. A chopper, McCullough fields well and has out number 2. Third time in the game, STK fastball has forged ahead of JDT First Energy. Conrado Zanatini gave them a 2-1 lead with his RBI single in the 4th, and in a position to cash in another. And any time you could extend a lead to 3, it just has a different feel. When it's 2, all it takes is somebody to be on, of course, and a big fly. Drop ball and a good one from McCullough. Pittendray, the pinch runner at second. McCullough finds the inside portion of the plate. Alejo Munoz, magical Minnesota adventure. His 5th home run. Runs batted in, 14 and 15 have given STK Fastball a 4-2 lead in Mankato.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. Upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon.
Alejo Munoz, 5th home run of this tournament. A 2-run shot in the top of the 6th has given STK Fastball a 4-2 lead, and Juan Pepe's afternoon over. Here comes 38-year-old Jorge Segura from Guatemala City, Guatemala. Pepe, 5 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks through 87 pitches, 48 of them for strikes. JDT, First Energy, the number 5 ranked team, coming in now in a hot spot, but still with 2 at-bats and lots of capable people to change the game. Jorge Segura has made 4 appearances, including 4 shutout innings last night in the 10-inning triumph over the Ostrander Norsemen. And he's still throwing well. Pitched Guatemala to a 3rd place finish in Oklahoma City at a World Cup qualifier last September. A 1-hopper is Colin Walsh is retired for out number 1 as Nick Putzkin made it look routine. Been a cleanly played game too, for the most part. Jonathan Lynch drove in the first JDT run with a sacrifice fly and then was thrown out by Alejo Munoz trying to stretch a single into a double. So Munoz has done it both offensively and defensively today. He keeps it up. In the game of letters, he might have 3 more around his name. The first one's an M, the last one's a P, and you probably don't need many guesses to know what would be in the middle. He has had an MVP-like performance. 5 home runs and 15 runs batted in. Lynch, check swing, tough play for Segura, and it's not in time. So Jonathan Lynch fights it off. He was shaken up earlier in the game on a catch that he made in right field when he went down to get it, and on that play appeared to maybe roll over an ankle, potentially. Stays in, second hit of the game. And now Liskowski. This will be close, but not in time. As back-to-back base hits. With one out for JDT. There's a little hug over there at second. Lynch. And Federico Ader over at second. I have heard this week from 3 different sources that Jonathan Lynch might be one of the nicest people in the sport. And there are many of them. Jeff Lyons with a base hit. They're going to hold Lynch, and probably a good thing, as Munoz throws a strike to home plate from left field. Even the speedy Lynch is probably DOA if he tried to score here. That's good coaching, too. You're down by 2 runs. And the bases are loaded as Jeff Lyons has his first ISC hit since 2023. And it comes at a key time. Well, JDT didn't like what happened in the top half, and they have responded in the bottom of the 6th. Grab a beverage and a few snacks, folks. You might be here for a while. Oh, we'd like you to stay the rest of the day at the ISC 2 title game coming up next. Georgian Bay back for a 3rd straight year, trying and hoping it's 3rd time lucky against the Midland Explorers. And that'll help to set the stage for the winners bracket final. Right now, slated for about 7:30 between the 2 unbeatens here this week, Hill United, the defending champs, and the Northeast Drillers, as Brock Atwell swings and misses on the Jorge Segura drop ball. Atwell's had a good day, reinserted back into the lineup. Has not seen a lot of time in the batter's box this week. But he's 1 for 1, has walked and scored. He didn't actually score. There was a pinch runner who scored after he drew a walk his last time up. So the bases are loaded, trailing by 2, 1 out in the 6th. As JDT tries to strike right back. They're going to check and see if he went around. Now the count is 2-2, not 3-2, as it shows up on the scoreboard in front of me. So the 2-2 to Atwell on the way. Ader has trouble with it. Did he get an out? I didn't see a safe or an out call there. Which I would think means that Lyons is safe. Now he's in a conversation with Jorge Segura, who maybe didn't like the slide. What else are you supposed to do in that scenario? And now the umpires are talking about it. Certainly 4-3. It's just a matter if there's 2 out or still 1. There's still 1. And now an argument from the STK skipper. And he's hot. As he is in a heated conversation with George LeMaitre from Hamilton, Ontario. It is rare for Federico Ader to not come up with a ground ball. That was hard hit. But he is absolutely, almost all the time, very sure-handed. Dallas Kipfer is going to come into the game to run. So the argument is over to no avail for STK. As Lynch able to score, the bases remain loaded. 4-3. As Lynch crossed the plate. And they're still talking about it. The pitcher, Segura, leading the cause now, as is Ader. Well, they've tried in many ways to change things. It's not going to change. I understand the enormity of the situation. Everybody does. So much on the line here in this elimination game. And a pinch hitter in 32-year-old Travis Jones, who comes in to bat for catcher Cameron Watts. And now can Segura work his way out? Leo Munoz, with his 5th home run of the tournament, had given STK a short-lived 4-2 lead. Now it's 4-3. Jones, Munoz, you know he's got a great arm, and they won't test it. Is Leskowski, who singled earlier in the inning, stays right there at third. Jorge Segura's first inning of work in relief of Juan Pepe has been more than a little interesting. Bases loaded for Jordan Pomeroy. And a first pitch ball to the 25-year-old from Newfoundland. Jordan 0 for 2 in the game. He was hit by a pitch and scored JDT's first run in inning number 1. And he hit the ball hard right at center fielder Ryan Bicknell his last time in inning number 5. Does he have an answer in the 6th to tie the game or maybe give his group its first lead? They've trailed 3 different times. Segura, who struck out 54 batters at that World Cup qualifier in 32 innings last September, would love one here. Fouled back by Pomeroy. Segura had a 9 strikeout performance against the Toronto Batmen earlier in the week. Was excellent in that game in his 5 innings of work. The 2-2 to Pomeroy. Strike 3. Jorge Segura. Every emotion in the world he dealt with in that inning. but limits the damage, and his team will take a 1-run lead into the 7th here at the ISC World Tournament in Mankato, Minnesota.
A metal roof lasts a lifetime. Thousands trust Metal Roof Outlet to install stylish, stone-coated metal roofing that looks just like traditional shingles. Make a smart and worthwhile investment for your home with Metal Roof Outlet. Contact us through metalroofoutlet.com to get a quote for a roof replacement anywhere in Southern Ontario. Because when you trust Metal Roof Outlet with your roof replacement, it may be the last time you ever replace your roof.
Devin McCullough has gone the distance. His team back within 1 again. They scored 1 in the bottom of the 6th and left the bases loaded as Jorge Segura's first strikeout in relief was a huge one to get Jordan Pomeroy. McCullough's thrown 85 pitches in the game, 61 of them for strikes, as he faces Jessen Potskin to open the 7th. Devin's given up 4 runs on 7 hits. He has 8 strikeouts and has walked 1 batter. So he has not thrown a lot of pitches in this game. Wants to keep it a 1-run difference for the rest of his group to bat in the bottom of the inning. A date with the Bear Creek Express tomorrow morning to open Championship Saturday, as we'll be down to 4 teams left in contention when tomorrow begins. After the Bear Creek Express received a gem from Ty Sebastian. I call him the Brussels Bulldog, who was at his Bulldog best against the Bear Creek Gremlins in a 2-0 victory in the game prior to this one. So 2 really good games to open this Friday in the quest for a world crown. The best club team tournament on the planet. Hard hit and oh no. Thought that caught Atwell up in the face. And it did. Seems to be okay. Right off the teeth. And he's trying to shake it off. Not seen a lot of bad hops all week. But that took one, and it'll be a base hit. As Potskin hit it hard, and now Atwell probably leaking a little from the mouth, I would think. Boy, that could have been a lot worse. That could break your jaw. Leave you with a quick trip to the dentist. I'd rather pluck my eyebrows with an axe than go to the dentist. Well, good for Brock Atwell. Oof. It was scary to watch. I knew it immediately. It'd come up right in the face area. But he'll stay in. And Potskin has his first hit of the game and the 8th for STK. Trying to pull off another upset. terms of looking at the ISC World Rankings coming in. I think we're going to play again here. In the preseason, they were ranked 14th. I think it was much higher than that in the mid-season rankings. Poor Cameron Watts needed a stick to knock that down. Just kept moving farther and farther out of his reach with that tightly formed mesh behind home plate. And, of course, the barrier right in behind. We've seen some interesting caroms. This one allows Potskin to move into scoring position as Nick Lanigan fouls it back. Devin McCullough came into the game having thrown 24 2/3. They were the number 8 team, talking about STK, already with upset wins, if you will, over the Toronto Batmen, number 7, and last night over the 6th-ranked Ostrander Norseman. Now they're trying to knock off number 5. So it would be 7, 6, and 5 if they can close it out. And if they were to win, guess who they get tomorrow morning? Number 4 in the Bear Creek Express. Well, regardless of how the rest of the week goes for them, this has got to be a giant success story. Hard to argue that, I would think. They lost their second game to the Kegel Black Knights and are trying to win a 5th consecutive here this afternoon. And there's no one out with a runner in scoring position in the 7th. And you know how badly they'd like to add to this advantage. Devin McCullough has other ideas. As Devin with another strikeout as he gets Nick Lanigan swinging. And Devin, I believe, now up to 9 strikeouts in the game. Or maybe that is number 8. So I quickly check my scorebook. And Brock Atwell is still in some real discomfort after taking a vicious hop right in the mouth. Now showing a lot of courage to stay out there. So the athletic therapist comes out to deal with him. And some more water. I don't know how much longer you'd probably... You're out there on adrenaline for sure. You're trying everything you can to stay in the game. That's what great competitors do. But something obviously really started to bother him. So they continue to attend to Brock Atwell. And that was indeed the 9th strikeout for Devin McCullough, who's up to 55 in the tournament. 46 coming into the day. Now Jamie Simpson's going to go out, so is Larry Lynch. And I think we're going to have a defensive change. I would certainly support that at this point. Yeah, that's going to do it for Brock Atwell. Just too much. Gave it a huge effort to try and stay in. Looked like he was going to be able to do it, and then right after that play, that was enough. So something really bothering him, whether it's a terrible headache or the jaw is incredibly uncomfortable. So they'll make a change. Laskowski's going to go to second, and Jeff Lyons started the game as the designated player, is going to come in and play third base. They probably would have liked to have used Kipfer, but they used him in a running spot in the last half inning offensively. So Laskowski shuffled over. And with one out and a runner at second, we continue. And it gets away from Cameron Watts. And now the runner is at third. And this is a pinch hitter, Canadian national team member from Delisle, Saskatchewan, a youngster in Max Major, who's come in to hit for Nick Potskin in the number 9 spot in the order. Delisle is about 25 miles, 40 kilometers outside of Saskatoon. When you grow up in Saskatoon, you know these things, which I did. Major, a line shot. Patterson way offline. And Major gets the job done. A sacrifice fly. They check to see if he left early. Did they just call him out? They did. My goodness. What a turn of events. Inning over. And it remains 4-3. Runner leaves early. Can JDT draw even with STK in the bottom of the 7th? We will show you shortly.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast.
It had appeared that STK was going to add an insurance run on a fly ball to center, but it was ruled that the runner, Justin Potskin, left too early. They made the appeal, JDT, and they got the call. So 4-3 to the 7th is Braden Ducharme, who has 2 hits in the game and walked in his other trip to the batter's box, leads things off for JDT First Energy with their tournament on the line. Another game that has featured a little of everything. as Jorge Segura misses outside to even the count. Ducharme, his second base hit, tied the game briefly at 2 in the 5th before Alejo Munoz, who has been a true superstar in this event, in the 6th, hit a 2-run homer, his 5th home run of the tournament, and runs batted in 14 and 15 to lead everyone in both of those categories. Ducharme right at Riley James, who picked it and threw over for out number 1. You have to have quick hands if you're going to play the hot corner. And Riley James executes very nicely. Scott Patterson, more than capable with one swing to draw his team even. In fact, I might give him almost the best odds of anyone to do it. Change up from Segura is called a strike. Boy, he's got a lot of motion when he comes at you from 46 feet away. The product of Guatemala City, Guatemala. That's not exactly around the corner. Drop ball and a dandy as he's in front of the Australian national team member, Scott Patterson. His hometown, I don't even give it a try. As he smashes this. I believe that's Mike Taylor over there, who's a good player in his own right. Coaching in the first base box for JDT. Scott Patterson would love to find a way on. Always a little choked up on the bat, and it works for him very well. It was 3 for 16 for his country at the recently completed World Cup, and he hit 2 home runs in that event. He won't hit one here. Back-to-back strikeouts, or a ground out, and now a strikeout. Segura ended the 6th with a big strikeout, with the bases loaded. And now STK, 1 out away from moving into the ISC World Tournament's Final 4. Colin Walsh in a spot to keep JDT alive, the longtime Canadian national men's team member from Petty Harbor, Newfoundland. Two balls and no strikes to Walsh, who is 1 for 3 in the game. He singled back in the first. Walsh. STK's magical run continues. They've won 6 in a row after dropping their second game and have knocked off number 7, number 6, and now number 5 in the ISC World Rankings in order to do it. Jorge Segura comes on in relief of Juan Pepe, and STK fastball will play on Championship Saturday. They've earned a date with the Bear Creek Express in tomorrow's first game at 9:30. And the magical week for Munoz, as in Aleo, continued. He wins it with a 2-run home run in the 6th, his 5th home run of the competition, and he's driven in 15. Well, that'll do it for this one. STK moves on for JDT First Energy in their first year in existence. Their season is over. Blair and Joe will be back around the corner. Georgian Bay, Midland for the ISC 2 title. Goodbye for now from Mankato, Minnesota.
Called strike 3, the outside corner. They worked out of that. Yeah. High in the air, Viavazo comes to get it, and the Chiefs are back to the top of the mountain. The gloves fly. The celebration is underway.